Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Manoj Kumar from Corp IT. In this video, we are going to understand how Linux kernel version actually work. If you ever visited kernel.org, you probably saw terms like mainline, stable, long-term, LTS, STS, and Linux Next. And honestly, it can get confusing very quickly. So in this video, I will explain what each one mean in simple way and how entire Linux kernel release process actually work. For this video, I already wrote a blog post. So let's open that and go through in section by section. So first thing to understand is that not every Linux kernel release is made for same purpose. Some kernel are experimental, some are under active development, some are production ready, and some are maintained for many years. That is why we have different category of kernel. The major category are Linux Next, mainline, stable, long term or LTS and STS. Now let understand them one by one. Linux Next. So first we have Linux Next. Now, Linux Next is not an official release kernel. It is basically a daily integration tree where maintainers merge upcoming kernel changes before they are sent to Linux revolves. I might misspell the name. You can think of Linux Next as tomorrow kernel assembled today. Its main purpose is catching merge conflict, testing subsystem interaction, and validating upcoming patch together. Now, this branch is highly experimental. Sometimes it may not even compile properly. So, Linux Next is mainly used for kernel developer, subsystem maintainer, tester, and CI system. This is definitely not something normal user should run or on production system. Next, mainline kernel. Next we have mainline kernel. The mainline kernel is the official kernel tree managed by Linux revolves. This is where new feature are added, driver are introduced, and major kernel development happen. Now, the Linux kernel follow a release cycle that usually happen every 9 to 10 week. The cycle normally look like first merge window, then release candidate like RC1, RC2, RC3, and finally the stable mainline release. For example, 6.15-RCC1, 6.15 RCC2, and finally 6.15. Mainline kernel contain the latest feature, latest hardware support, but also newer bugs sometimes. These kernel are usually best for developers and bleeding edge desktop user. Stable kernel. Now, once a mainline release became stable, a stable branch is created. For example, 6.5 became 6.5.1, 6.5.2, or 6.5.3. These releases mainly include bug fixes, security fixes, and regression fixes, but they do not introduce major new features. Stable kernel are maintained by stable kernel maintainers like Greg Krog Hartman. I might misspelled the name. Compared to mainline kernel, these are much safer and production ready, but their support duration is still relatively shorter, usually only a few months. Long term or LTS kernel. Now, this is the part most people hear about. LTS mean long term support. There are special stable kernels selected for extended maintenance. Example include 6.6 LTS, 6.1 LTS, and 5.15 LTS. These kernel can receive update for 2 years, 4 years, or sometimes even longer. The reason LTS kernel exists is because many systems cannot upgrade kernel frequently. For example, server, enterprise Linux system, Android devices, embedded devices, industrial system. LTS kernel receives security fixes, critical bug fixes, and ported patches, but they avoid disruptive new feature. This make them ideal for production environment. Company like Red Hat, Canonicals, and Google heavily rely on LTS kernel. STS, short-term stable. Next we have STS, which means short-term stable. This term is not used as much nowadays, but historically it referred to kernel that was stable but maintained only for a shorter period. So basically, a mainline release becomes stable, then either it became an LTS kernel or it became a short-term stable kernel. For example, if kernel 6.14 became stable but it's not selected as a LTS, then it effectively an STS kernel, meaning it may only receive update for a few months before reaching end of the life. How everything connected. Now this is where everything became easy to understand. The overall workflow look like Linux next goes into a mainline development, then release candidate, then mainline release, then stable branch, and finally either LTS or STS. Once you understand this pipeline, this entire Linux kernel versioning system start making much more sense. Version number. Now let's quickly understand version number. For example, 6.6.32 here. 6 is major version, second 6 is minor version, and 32 is the stable patch release. Another example, 6.15-RC4. This means Linux 6.5 release candidate 4. Important clarification about LTS. One important thing people confuse is distribution LTS versus kernel LTS. These are not exactly the same thing. For example, Ubuntu 24.04 LTS is distro release, but the kernel inside it may or may not itself be an upstream LTS kernel. Linux distribution often patch kernel heavily, maintain them independently, and backported fixes themselves. So distro LTS and kernel LTS are related but different concept. Practical recommendation. So which kernel should you actually use? If you are a normal desktop user, use your distro provided stable kernel. If you are running server or production workload, use LTS kernel. If you are testing latest hardware, use latest stable or mainline kernel. And if you are developing kernel code, use Linux Next or release candidate kernel. So yeah, that is basically how Linux kernel version actually work. Hopefully this video made terms like mainline stable, LTS, STS, and Linux Next much easier to understand. If there are any future Linux kernel virtualization or open source topic that you want me to cover, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for this video and we'll see you in the next one. Till the time, peace.